in between sophomore and junior. Getting up to being a junior now.
That's good. That's what are you graduating with? What are you gonna shoot for?
Right now I'm in video.
Video?
Yeah.
So ours looks pretty hokey then compared to some.
Those cameras aren't too bad. I mean, but yeah. I mean, it's still up in the air though. I'm thinking about changing my major. Don't know if I'm going to.
Oh really? Are you already almost a junior?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you have a lot of basics to knock out anyway.
Yeah, but I'm almost done with my gen eds, and I haven't started my upper division classes in my major yet.
Okay,
so,
yeah, it's a good time to change if you want to change. What are you looking to change to?
Possibly photography. We just got out of a photography class. So.
Well, that's not too big of a difference. Video to photography.
It's kind of in the same realm, same department, mass communications. So.
Oh, so even if you did have a year or so, maybe a lot of that stuff would transfer over to that one. Cool. Well, good luck to you, man. I'm proud of anybody that finishes it out, sticks it out, man, and gets their degree.
Try, man.
All right, so start on me. Spiritual survey number, I think, 11. This is Zach Hampton. All right, Zach. First question is, do you believe in a God?
Yeah, I do believe in a God. I don't know how much it's akin to a Christian God or any other, strictly religious God, but
okay, so to you, what is the relation that God has to mankind? Is he a distant God? Is he a personal God? Or
I think that's
what
a
involvement?
I think that's a hard question. I think it's kind of an ambiguous thing. I guess my kind of view of God is like a wholeness or a singularity, if that makes sense. Like no one thing or person is separate from anything, or not anything. Anything you experience within the realm of our perception, I guess, that's kind of what God is to me. It's like the the large picture, like seeing everything as unified, not as separate.
Okay. Does that fall under a certain religion, or is that kind of something that you've kind of discovered?
It might fall under some sort of religion. I haven't really researched it in depth. It's more of a feeling on the inside, like things that I've experienced. So yeah.
So do you believe what happens after death?
I don't know. That's a hard question too. Obviously.
Well, what would you maybe hope that happens after death?
I mean, I think that there's some sort of, some sort of perception after death. If you want to call it life after death. I think kind of like, I don't know, it's like we're all like kind of conscious in here, like you have your single personality and identity and how you feel about things, you have your ego and everything, everybody has those things, but I kind of see everybody is just kind of like fractaled off of that, and we're all really kind of part of that same thing, so maybe when you die, you kind of re-merge with some sort of like overall kind of being and consciousness. Like we're all kind of like little fractals of God. Does that make sense? Okay. We're all like kind of fractioned off of that and kind of re-merge with that. I also
would you relate that to reincarnation maybe a little bit, or?
I mean, I've definitely thought about reincarnation and like if that comes into anything like. I don't know. I guess I would say I have a lot of different ideas and speculations, but nothing, in stone, So.
Okay, so with your thoughts of who God is and how it all works, how would you explain good and evil?
I think that good and evil is kind of an ambiguous term. I think that, or kind of idea. Like I think that people kind of create that, there is such a thing as, good and evil, but, if you think of outside of the things that we see and perceive, like, outside of our minds, what else is there? There's, like, really, without a mind to perceive everything we have around us, there's really nothing at all. Like, it's just, it wouldn't be anything without perception or consciousness. So good and evil, like in terms of God, I don't know if there is anything such. I don't know if there is such a thing. I think there's gray.
So there is no absolute wrong and no absolute right.
I think there's always circumstance, and I mean there's definite hatred in the world, and there's definite kindness and genuineness and sincerity in the world as well. But I don't know.
Does your perception of God have anything to do with that?
I don't think about God. I don't think when it comes to talking about what's going, like war in the world and all of that kind of thing, like whether it's right to. I don't think that morality. I don't think that God and morality are on the same thing as me. I think that people treat people the way they want to be treated, or that's how things should be. I don't think that there should be necessarily that you get the word from high that this is how you're supposed to act. I think that there's respect. You respect people, and I don't want to be I don't want to be treated badly. I don't want people to steal from me. I wouldn't want to be disrespected in any way. So that's kind of what I base my morality on, is myself, how I would want to be treated by other people. So,
okay.
Which
that's an interesting view. I really think that's an interesting view on
I think we're all
where it all kind of comes from.
I don't know if this is, I don't know, it's kind of a strange idea or not, but I think we're kind of all our own gods. We're all creating our own reality. Like I said before, we're all kind of fractals off of one overall thing. Like, I think that people, like I said, we get caught up in our ego and our own selves, and people don't try to see the bigger picture, but I kind of think that the whole world, our world overall, is like an organism. We're all one thing. It's like a colony of ants or something. We all have our own separate things, but really we're this one mind, that exists. But
I think in essence on your stance on it, that you would have to be your own God if you come up with your own reasoning of what's bad.
You create your own reality to the there are other factors like you're an influence on my reality, so you're an outside influence on what is creating my reality, but also I create reality, and I create the life that I want in the reality. And everybody has an impact on the world, I guess I mean to say, and which means that also you can change things. You can, and that to me means you're somewhat of a, it sounds like a weird thing to say, but because I was a Christian when I was younger, and then kind of got out of it as I matured. But that sounds blasphemous to say. Still it sounds like a weird thing to say to people, for people to tell somebody else.
Yeah, that would kind of make you only responsible to yourself. You wouldn't have to really. Be accountable for anything in that degree. So how would you explain that way of thinking if I say, well, I'm going to go ahead and live however I want to live, I'm going to kill your kids, and honestly I'm only accountable to myself, I forgive myself. How do you explain that way of looking at your belief system?
That's interesting. I don't know, I haven't thought about it that far.
Because I guess we can't influence our realities pretty hard. We have the power within each other to. Would that person after death say they lived a horrible life and they committed atrocities? Are they not accountable to anybody since they are their own God?
I think that you kind of. I would hope that there's some sort of remorse that person would have, in doing something like that. Maybe they wouldn't. I think it depends. That's another circumstance thing, like what experiences in that person's life, led them to that decision, to that act. But, as far as, holding yourself accountable, so are you saying that God should be holding everybody accountable. I don't know. I guess that's
Yeah, I guess that's the choice
I guess that's
of-
what you're saying. But
I'm asking, is it you that